Does Doug want food?
He's kind of a picky eater.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just gave him some.
Oh, that's why he's skinny.
Yeah, some say he's buff.
Really?
Yeah, he's got that upper body build.
You're right. All upper body.
Yeah.
Helen Yee here in California. Always great to be joined by the one and only Mr. Beneil Dariush. Always great to see you.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for having me in this beautiful home.
Yeah, we're at my in-laws' house, and well, the dogs are excited to have you here too.
Hey, dogs love me. They might not love my dad, but they like me.
Well, maybe your dad's been mistreating them for a long time.
Or just eating them. But anyway, so how have you been?
Good. Haven't had any dogs, but I've been pretty good.
You didn't want to try it?
No, I've not. I've been to Asia plenty of times. You know, they might have snuck it in, but I don't think I've intentionally have had dog yet.
Okay, well, there's going to be a first time for everything.
That's true. That's true. Hopefully it tastes like chicken.
That's actually what my dad said.
Ugh. But okay.
Don't worry, Doug feels safe.
Yeah, Doug.
See, I'm good with dogs.
He's got no meat on him. He wouldn't taste good. We can go for the bigger ones.
Have you always had dogs growing up?
I feel like there was like a small period in my life where I didn't, but most of my life, yeah, I've had dogs.
Oh, okay. I never have.
Oh, well, I mean,
I'm excited.
Maybe you did, and you just didn't have it for so long.
No, you're right. I just had it probably for dinner.
Yeah, there you go. They're a part of you forever.
You're right. Yeah. You're right. But hey, great night of fights, UFC 313 last night. What'd you think of the main event?
I thought it was a great fight. I know I was seeing a lot of comments on like, oh, the fight was slow, it was boring, but I thought it was actually a great fight because the distance control by Ankalaev, the ability to shut down Pereira's left hook, the little things he was doing to be able to stop so much offense from such an offensive fighter is really impressive for me. So for me to be able to watch that and break that down, I had a really good time. There's not a whole lot you can criticize on his part, and so I genuinely enjoyed the fight.
Well, how did you score the fight? Because I know after, you know, some people scored it for Pereira, some scored for Ankalaev, and I know some were maybe confused about the 49-46. Yeah. So how did you score it?
I had round 1 for Pereira and maybe round 5, but I had pretty much everything else for Ankalaev. I thought he was in control.
It looks like Dana was talking about maybe having that rematch next. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really see any other contenders in that division that are as worthy as Ankalaev or Pereira. I mean, the only guy I can really think of is Jan Blachowicz, but he hasn't fought in so long. So, but because in my opinion, he has a win over both guys, right? Just the way he fought these guys and how well he did. But yeah, I think the rematch makes a lot of sense, and I'm looking forward to seeing the adjustments they make. Typically, it's the guy who loses that makes the better adjustments when the fight is so close. But you know, Ankalaev and his team are so sharp. I'm looking forward to seeing what they're gonna do.
Yeah, well, you mentioned Jan Blachowicz. I believe he's fighting Carlos Solberg next, coming up.
That'll be a great fight.
Yeah, that will be. But when you mention like adjustments, if you're Alex Pereira and his team, what adjustments do you think that he needs to make in the rematch?
What I noticed was, so Ankalaev's doing a great job with the boxing distance. He doesn't allow Pereira to really get off with his jab and left hook, and that's his best weapon, right? So, but Alex has such great weapons like his knees and his kicks. I would definitely have him kick more. I would have him kick a lot more, and not just to the lead leg. I would have him kick a lot more. I would go high and middle kicks more, and continue to do the leg kick, because I think he actually had lots of success with that leg kick. I think we're so used to seeing him disable guys with that kick, put them on in danger, that we don't think of it as having success in this fight. I thought he actually had lots of success with it still, but he just couldn't get his jab and left hook going.
In that co-main event, it was a short notice rematch between Justin Gaethje and Rafael Fiziev. Well, did anything in that surprise you?
I liked what, I wouldn't say surprised, but there was things that fighters did that I really liked, things that I wasn't a big fan of. I like how Rafael in the first round, he kept the distance, and he was able to use that distance to really just shut down all of Gaethje's offense and counter it. The problem is with that kind of style of being so active in terms of countering and being defensive, it takes a lot of energy. And you know, he has a short notice fight, so you could see the energy went down in round 2 and 3, and it was the fight shifted in a different direction. I really liked what he did there. And then with Gaethje, the thing I hated was also the thing that was most successful for him. I hated how he kept dipping his head. I'm like, man, he's going to get kneed, he's going to get kicked in the head. And he did, but he took it like a champ. But that same dip that he kept doing to the right was the same dip that allowed him to get that uppercut, and then he was able to drop Rafael with it. So Gaethje's one of those guys, like, not fun to watch. If I was his coach, I mean, Trevor, man, that guy, he must have nerves of steel or something. Because if I was a Gaethje's coach, I would be so stressed all the time. But man, props to him. He did great. He came out really strong in the second, dropped him, and in the third, the fight was super close. But I think he outworked Rafael, I'm sorry, in the third. And you know, Rafael was really smart, because if you notice, he's spamming middle kicks because Gaethje doesn't answer kicks too much. So he's spamming the kicks, and he's trying to win by points. It's a very smart strategic move. You know your opponent's not going to answer these, so let me just continue to spam these kicks and build my numbers. But Gaethje, you know, never took his foot off the gas in the third and kept going forward and kept forcing like a dirty boxing clinch, and as soon as he would disengage, that's where his strikes would come off. So, you know, props to Gaethje, and props to Fiziev to take the fight so short notice and still do so well. Yeah,
fight of the night for sure. But now looking at the lightweight division, there's always so much going on, but who do you think is most deserving of that title shot now?
I guess I would say it's between, if Ilia is coming into the division, I honestly think he's the most deserving, but I don't think Makhachev and his team right now want to give a shot to another 45er. I think they feel like they did it twice. That's enough, you know. Now they want contenders, and at the same time, but Makhachev also wants to fight new guys. So it's kind of one of those things where you're stuck because you have a new opponent, but he's a former 45er, and you're like, I don't want to fight another 45er. So it's a weird spot to be in. But I think right now they're probably either looking at Charles or they're looking at Ilia. Those are the two fights I would think.
But most importantly, I mean, how are you? Because we were supposed to see you fight in January here in California, and then obviously the Moicano situation, like everything unfolded with Arman. So is there any update with you?
To be honest, not really. There's some talks about basically fighting again in June, but nothing's been clarified as far as who I'm fighting or if I'm fighting. And you know, Dana said he would make it up to me, so I assumed that meant I was going to get somebody ranked ahead of me, but we'll see. Right now, it doesn't seem that way.
Has anybody been offered?
They mentioned possible just doing Moicano again. That's one option, and you know, this was before Dan Hooker got hurt. But now, if you think about it, I think the Dan Hooker fight makes a lot of sense. That's the fight to have, because everybody else is busy, and that gives me a shot to fight him.
And I know you're always in the gym. You're always in your new gym.
Yeah.
And staying ready. So ideally for you, I mean, what does that timeline look like for you to return?
So originally I told them I want to come back in April. I spoke with Sean. I said, hey, I could do March or April because, I didn't fight. My weight was low. I could have gone straight back into camp and got ready. And they never got back to me. And, when they don't get back to you, you go on vacation, you do the whole family thing. And now I'm a lot bigger. So ideally, May or June would work. I need 8 to 10 weeks for the weight cut and to have a proper camp.
And what does vacation look like for you? Where'd you guys go?
We went to Cancun, Mexico.
Oh, that's fun.
It was cool. We went to like a kids resort. I think it was like the Nickelodeon resort. And honestly, not ideal for me, but the kids loved it. It's like one of those things they got you because your kids are here and they love it.
Yeah.
But like they give you like very mid food. I would say below mid, and then just in terms of everything else it was average. Like they had, and I'm a coffee snob. They had the worst coffee I've ever had. So not a huge fan, but I understand for kids, it's like it's wonderful for kids.
Well, you're a great dad. Putting the kids first.
Yeah. We did have it was called. We got to go out one time. It was Excarte, I think it's called. It was like a park, and it had water and animals. It was like you're bringing a zoo / a water park / food and stuff like that, and shows as well. We went there, and I would say that was the highlight of the trip.
Do you have any fun kids rides that you like?
Yeah, like if you go to Disney, like I'm willing to go on the rides with them. I that's something I actually enjoy because you get to see your kids and their face and they just light up. That's definitely perfect. That's very acceptable. I'm very happy. Obviously, the waiting in line and all that stuff isn't the best, but I honestly don't mind if my kids are excited and they're having a good time. But besides that, I would never go for myself. Let's just put it that way. People are like,
good answer.
People are like, oh, like, what do you like to do for fun? I was like, man, my job is fun. Like, I chose a job that I love. Like, I enjoy training. Oh, what do you want to do? Let's go drill the new techniques I just learned. Or I got, I want to practice something new. Or that's exciting to me. Trying new food, maybe that's exciting, but besides that, not really, not a whole lot of stuff is fun for me, but I always find joy when I find a new way to beat somebody up. That's the way I look at it.
Well, speaking of beating people up and the fights, obviously, we just mentioned like Islam and also Ilia and whatnot. Islam in the past, he's talked about wanting to move up to 170, up to welterweight. Do you still see that happening, in the future, or do you think that he's going to remain at 155 for a while?
I think it's up to Dana. I think right now they're annoyed with the whole double champ thing because they want their guys to basically clear out everybody and they get to decide when you move up. But now everybody gets one fight in, they're like, okay, I'm ready to move up, and they don't really like that. I think if Belal is champ, Makhachev will stay at 55. I think, but if he ends up, not being champ or moving up to 185, then you'll see Islam Makhachev moving up to 170. That's my opinion, but I'm not sure yet. We'll see.
Coach Javier, he has talked about Islam, the success he thinks he would have at 170, but also at 185. Do you think that he would have success at middleweight?
I think you're kind of pushing it too far because I know maybe in training he does well with, bigger guys. That's perfectly fine. And, I've been in the gym with bigger guys, and you can have success. Having success with a bigger guy at like 185 is one thing. It's a whole other thing to try to have success in a fight. The energy, your energy is going to go down a lot faster. Every punch is going to feel a lot more, a lot different. Let's just put it that way. And I don't think it's quite the same. I think, is it possible that he could beat some guys at 185? Yes. Do I think he could be champ? No. And I take nothing away from him. He's the current pound-for-pound champion.
For Ilia now getting into the lightweight division, do you think he finds a lot of success in your division?
Yeah. I mean, look at his skill set. He could do it all, and he doesn't seem to be that small at 55. I know the one fight he had at 155 was where he was basically in the most danger he's ever been, but I think he'll have success at 155. I do. I'm interested to see how well he'll do against the better wrestlers, the guys who keep shooting and don't mind, don't get tired from trying to take you down.
Yeah, like I mentioned, I mean, the fans, they miss you. You were supposed to fight in January, but it's still only March. We hope to see you return in June like you want. But in a perfect, 2025, what does that look like for you?
I had hoped I could fight 3 times this year. I mean, obviously January didn't happen, so maybe we could still do 3 fights. Somehow I can sneak in June and then get 2 more fights. But if not, ideally I'd like to get 2 more fights. Man, I'd like to be active is what I'm trying to say, and put myself back in title contention.
And are you trying a lot of new food? You mentioned you like doing that.
New foods. Have I tried anything? I got a lamb leg. I got an entire leg and I smoked it. That was pretty good. I thoroughly enjoyed that.
You're really good at cooking. The fans need to know. Like, your lamb that time you made for the Schmo night, it's super good.
Homemade. The seasoning is a bit of a secret. The only thing I not happy about, it didn't get to marinate for 24 hours. So it won't be my best work, but you still get to try it.
Yeah, I'm excited. I feel bad. You should eat one too.
All right. I'll grab one too.
Wow, this is really good. No, I'm serious. Like, this is really good. Better than my dad's. My dad used to make them. And
Don't say that on camera. He's gonna be mad at me.
Sorry, Dad. It's okay. He got thick skin.
Okay, I should have grabbed it. I should have took a smaller bite. That was.
So lamb is kind of like my go-to. I have a good marinade recipe and stuff, but I do like cooking. I tried lamb leg and I thought overall it was good. I typically do lamb chops, but this was acceptable too. And then if I haven't really done anything besides that. Maybe some picanha, but that's normal. I would say that's pretty normal for us.
Hey, you should maybe have a cook-off with Volk.
I think Volk tries a lot harder, so I don't really want to get into that, because I put some salt on the meat and I toss it in the smoker. That's really what I do, or I'll toss it on the grill. I'm not trying to have a 30-step recipe to make food. I'm just trying to make the simplest thing as delicious as possible and eat it as fast as possible.
Well, I know you do have dinner waiting, so for the fans who love you and can't wait to see and watch for your return hopefully soon, what would you like to let them know?
Thanks for the love. Love you guys back. Would like to be back as soon as possible, and hopefully we get back in title contention this year.
A few moments later.
Thank you. Oh, sorry, Doug.
Doug, get off, bro. Come on, Doug. Come on. Seriously? Get off, bro. Come on. He's really enjoying himself.
He's a nice.